Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Uh, Today we are going to do February-March 2025 0580 paper 2. Let me just recall that this is the first paper 2 that was being conducted as a non-calculator version. So let's solve it and see what were the questions about. Uh, the formula sheet is given as it was there in paper 4. This is question number 1. Question number 1 says that oranges cost 220 rupees per kilogram. Work out the cost of 9 kg of these oranges. So the price of 1 kg of the oranges is given, and we need to find the price of 9 kgs. So we simply need to multiply the price of the price of the 1 kg with the total amount of oranges that we are buying. So we'll multiply 220 with 9. That's a simple multiplication. 0, 18, 19. So basically it's 1980 rupees for the 9 kgs. Question number 2. Question number 2 says Aryan goes on a journey. He leaves home at 11:40. This is the departure time, and arrives at 14:18. So we need to find out how many hours and minutes the journey took. So we need to find out basically the journey time. So journey time is always, let me just write the formula. Journey time is arrival time minus the departure time. So arrival time is 14. Remember, when you are doing the subtraction of these kind of things, the values should be always in 24-hour clock time. So it's already in 24-hour clock over here. So we don't need to convert them into 24 hours. 14:18 minus 11:40. Remember that you are going to subtract minutes from minutes and hours from hours. We cannot subtract 40 minutes from 18 minutes. So we need to take one complete hour from the previous value. So if I take one complete hour, which means 60 minutes, so I'll add 60 into 18. So it will become 78, and 14 will remain as 13. So definitely we can subtract 40 minutes from 78 minutes, which is going to give us 38 minutes, and 13 hours, and subtract 11 hours will give us 2 hours. So 2 hours and 38 minutes are actually taken for the whole journey. Question number 3, it says a quadrilateral has one line of symmetry. So basically, whenever you are reading paper 2 question, you need to be very careful with what things are given to you. This is a quadrilateral, which means four-sided shape, and in the four-sided shape there is just one line of symmetry. So and he also says that the diagonals of the quadrilateral cross at right angles. So basically we need to write down the mathematical name of the quadrilateral. Let me make that quadrilateral over here for all of you, so that you should know why is the first and second line very important for us. So quadrilateral is basically a kite. Why is it a kite? Because kite is a four-sided shape, plus it also has just one line of symmetry. This line, the one that I have just drawn with blue, and if you make two diagonals like this, the first already drawn and the second just now, the one that I just draw now, they intersect at 90 degrees to each other. So the shape of the quadrilateral is basically kite. Question number 4. Question number 4 says V equals to 4mp square. We need to find the value of p when m is 10 and p is minus 3. We just need to substitute these values in here. So 4 times m is 10 times, remember you need to take the square of minus 3, and 4 times it's 40. 4 times 10 is 40, minus 3 whole square is 9. So 4 times 9 is 36. So the final value of V is going to be 360. Part B says find the value of P when V is 3200 and M is 2. We again need to substitute the value, but before that we can make P the subject over here. So how can we make P the subject? We'll just keep P to one side and we will take the remaining terms on the right hand side to the left hand side. So 4M will go to the other side and it will divide. So V is basically 3200 divided by 4 times 2. Now I advise all of you not to do the multiplication when you do paper 2. Why? Because simplification is easier when you are not the bigger numbers. With the smaller number, the multiplication, the division are basically easier. So let's simplify. We can simplify both of them. This is both of them. 8 times 4, 8 times 32. This is basically this 8 and this is 4. So the answer will be this is P square, and P square will be 400. Now we can take square root on both sides, and square root of 400 is 20. And I advise all of you to memorize the square numbers and cube numbers up till 1000. The answers should be up till 1000, like 10 cube is 1000, and similarly you should memorize the square numbers up till 1000 and a little above that. So the answer for P is 20 in this case. Question number 5 says write these lengths in order of size starting with the smallest. Okay, so whenever you are writing in an order, so your first target should be to bring all of them into smallest unit. So the smallest unit over here is a millimeter. So you can convert it into any, or you can even convert it into a centimeter as well. It won't make any difference. But it is in difficult question, it is advisable that you change it into the smallest unit. So if I convert it into centimeters, because the middle kind of a unit over here that seems to me is centimeters, this centimeter will stay into centimeter. I will convert meters into centimeter. 0.03 will multiply with 100 and it will give me 3. I will convert 32 millimeters into centimeters. I'll divide it by 10, which is going to give me 3.2. And after that I'll convert kilometers also into centimeters. First I will convert kilometers into meters, and if I convert kilometers into meters, it is going to give me multiply by 1000. So 1 2 3, so it's going to give me 0.02 meters. And after converting into meters, I'll convert it into centimeters by multiplying it with 100, which will give me 2 centimeter. Now it's very easy for me to identify that which number is the smallest and which number seems to be the biggest. So remember, when you're writing the final answer in this kind of scenario, it should be such that it should be the original values that are given to you in the question. Let me write down the first, second and third, then we'll substitute place the values in the final answer. 2 is the smallest, the second biggest number is 2.9, third is 3, and this is the largest or the biggest number. So remember, I am going to write down 0.3 and 4, 1 2 3 and 4, 2 kilometers. Then the second number is 2.9 centimeters. I'll put the units as well because that's the exact way I'm going to write down them in the final answer space. the third number is 0.03 meters, and the final number is basically 32 millimeters. Okay, so now let's move to question number 6. Question number 6 says work out the area of trapezium. So there is just one formula that you need to memorize, area of trapezium, which is basically 1 by 2 into sum of the parallel sides. The parallel sides in this scenario is, these two sides are parallel, so I'm going to sum them up, which is 15 plus 9, and remember that you are going to take the height which is 90 degree between the two parallel sides. So in this case that is 8. Now if I do the simplification, this is going to be, I can simplify 2 and 4. 15 and 9, if I add them, it is 24 times 4. So I have to do the multiplication. 24 times 4, it's 16, 16 and 8 plus 1, 96 is the area of the trapezium. Write down, question number 7 says, write down the inequality of x represented on the number line. You should know that the minimum value on is -3, and the maximum value on the number line as an answer is +4. Now you will write down x in the middle because that's the variable that they are talking about. If the circle on the number line is not shaded, it means that you are going to put the inequality without the equal sign, and if it is shaded, you are going to put equal sign as well. So less than a symbol over here and less than an equal symbol over here. So less than and equal means that the value 4 is also going to be part of the solution to x. Question number 8. Question number 8 says that Priyanka plays a game in which she can win, lose or draw. The table shows the probability of her winning or losing. That these two are given to us in the table. We need to complete the table. So I'm sure you must know that the probability of an event is always equal to 1. So probability of an event is always equal to 1. So if we are interested in finding the probability of draw, we can subtract the probability of winning and losing from the total probability, which is 1. We can find the probability of the draw, which is 1 minus 0.55, so it will be 0.45. Part B says Priyanka plays this game 120 times. So this is basically the frequency or the total number of times she is playing this game. So this is frequency, or you can say the total number of times she is playing this game. Work out the expected number of games she is going to win. So if you need to find out the number of times she is winning, you just need to multiply the probability of winning with the total number of times that she is playing the game. So multiply it with 120. So multiplication is very easy. We are going to convert the decimals into fraction, and we'll do the simplification. 3 times 12 is 36. So out of 120 times, from total 120 times, 36 times she is going to win the game. And similarly, you can also find the number of times she can lose or even draw by the same methodology. Question number 9. There is a square d value for d that is given to us, and by writing each number correct to one significant figure. So basically this is the command word. Command word is that you need to write down each value over here in one significant figure, and then you need to estimate the value for d. Please do not try to do the multiplication first and then simplification and giving your answer in one significant. That is not what he is asking. He is asking you to write down the values in one significant figure and then simplifying it. So if I write down 1.95 into one significant, that is 2. If I write down 9.92 into one significant figure, that is 10 power 2, divided by, if I write down 8.07 into one significant figure, that is 8. So square root on top. If I simplify it, it's 2 times 100, which is 200, divided by 8, and there is a square root as well. So if you take this, if you simplify 8 and table of 2, 4 and 100, simplify it further, it is going to be 25. So the value of square root of 25 will be the value for D, which is 5. Question number 10. 3 regular polygons A, B and C meet at a point. The interior angles of the polygon are in the ratio A ratio B ratio C, which is 3 ratio 4 ratio 5. So this is the interior angle ratio given to us. Show that the polygon C has twice the number of sides as polygon B. So it's very simple. Since the ratio of all of them are given to us, we can write them like the polygon A will be 3 times x, polygon B can be 4 times x because it's a ratio, and polygon C is 5 times x. And we know that the sum of the angles of a circle is 360. So 3 plus 4 plus 5, it gives us 12. So 12x will be equal to 360. And if I simplify 360 by 12, I will get a constant value 30, which I multiply with each one of them to find out the angle A, B and C. So let's first figure out what is the value of the angle A, which is 3 times x, which is 30. So 3 times 30 is 90. 4 times 30 is 120. And the value of C is 5 times 30, which is 150 degree. But this is not at the end of the question. He says that we need to show that basically need to find out the number of sides for C as well as for B. So we are going to find the number of sides for each one of them. So let's find out the number of sides. Show that show that the polygon C has twice the number of sides as polygon B. So we need to find out the number of sides for B and C. So for that, let's start by finding the number of sides for A. We know the interior angle of A, which is 90 degrees. So the formula for each interior angle of a polygon is n minus 2 multiplied by 180 divided by n. If I simplify, it will be 90n equals 180n minus 360. So if I simplify, it will be minus 90n equals to minus 360. Negative and negative will cancel out, and the value of n that I will have is 4. So it means that the polygon A is basically having 4 number of sides. Now I'll do the same thing with for B, and for B the interior angle is given to, we already found out, that is 120. So we'll use the same formula, n minus 2 multiply by 180 divided by n. So simplify, 120n equals 180n minus 360. So minus 60n equals minus 360. So if you further simplify, the value of n will be 6. We need to find out the number of sides for C as well. So for C, let me do it here. For C, the interior angle is basically 150, which is equals to n minus 2 multiplied by 180 divided by n. So it is 150n equals 180n minus 360. So it is going, if I subtract, it will be minus 30n equals minus 360. So the value of n will be 12. So we were supposed to show that the number of the polygon C has twice the number of sides as B. So B has 6 sides and C has 12 sides. Question number 11. Question number 11 says a company sells items either on a website or in shops. Okay. The composite bar chart shows the percentage of sales on the website and in shops for January, February and March. So for January, the percentage of sale on website is 42%, 44%, and the remaining 46% is being sold in shops, and similarly for the rest as well. He says that in April 17 out of 20 of the sales were on the website. 17 out of 20 out of the total 100% is basically on the website. So what we are going to do is we need to find out of 20, how can we make this 20 as 100. So we'll multiply this with 5, and so will we multiply 17 with 5. So 17 times 5 is going to give us 85. So 85 out of 100, which is the total, it is being sold on the website. So we need to draw it on the bar as well. So let's draw the bar. The bar is basically total 100. We are going to draw the bar line for total 100. And out of 100, we need to shade that portion which is being sold on the website, which is 85 for this, and 85 lies to 84. 85 lies here. So this portion of is being sold on the website. B part says in February, the company had a sale of 3.5 million. So a total sale of B is 3.5 million. Work out the value of sales in shops in February. So how much is being there in February? So 40 out of 100 is being sold in shops. So we need to find out the sale that they have made in the shops. We'll use the ratio method here. So 40 is 40 out of total, which is 100%, and we need to find out the sale for 40, which is the sale in shops, and the total sale that they have made is basically 3.5 million. We'll cross multiply. So it is going to be 100x equals 40 times 3.5. So x will be 40 times 3.5 divided by 100. The zeros can cancel out. 4 times 3 is 12, and basically what I'm doing is 4 times 3 is 12, and then 4 times 0.5 is 2. So 12 plus 2 is 14. So I'll have 14 divided by 10. So 14 divided by 10 is 1.4. So 1.4 million sale was being done on in shops in February. C part says in May the company had sales of $6 million. In June the company had sales of $7.5 million. Find the percentage increase in sales from May to June. So whenever you need to find out percentage increase, remember, for whatever thing you are finding out the percentage, that thing is always going to be written in the numerator divided by the old value, the original value, multiplied with 100. This is the formula that you will use to find out percentage. So how much increase is happening? It is basically $1.5 million divided by, which is the old value, the previous value is the old value, which is 6, multiplied with 100. So if I simplify, 1.5 times 4 is 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3, and 3 plus 3 is basically 6. So 1.5, 1 and 4, 4 times 1 and 4 times 25 is 100. So 25% increase is there in the from May to June sales. He says that in D part he says in 2024 the company had total sales of $52 million. Okay, this was an increase of 30% on the total sales for 2023. Work out the total sales in 2023. So we are going to use ratio method over here. We will use before and after. Before is basically 2023 and after is 2024. So before percentage is always 100%. After first, this is let me write it here. This is 2023 and this is 2024. So before percentage is always 100%. After percentage is this was an increase of 30%. So it means that in 2024 it is 30% more than the previous year. We need to find out the sale that they have done in 2023. I'll mark it X over here and the sale over here is 52. So we'll do simplification. 130x is equal to 100 multiplied by 52. The value of X is 100 multiplied by 52 divided by 130. Zeros will cancel out. 13 times 1, 13 times 2 is 26 and 13 times 4 is 52. So 4 times 10 is 40. So the sale in 2023 was $40 million. Question number 12, A part. Write as a single fraction in simplest form. So you can see that there are 3 fractions over here. So you need to write down as a single fraction. It means that their denominator is supposed to be same. So for making their denominator same, you need to find their LCM first. So the LCM of the denominators only, it is 4, 8 and 12. So we'll take with the table of 2. That is, even we can do it with 4 as well, though LCM doesn't do without a prime number. 4, 2 and 3, and they are both prime numbers, which will make it 6. So the LCM over here is 6 times 4, which is 24. So I have to make their denominators 24 in all the 3 denominators. So how can I make 4 as 24? By multiplying it with 6. Remember, whatever you do in the denominator of a fraction, you do the same in the numerator. Plus 3x divided by 8. 8, how can I make it 24? By multiplying it with 3. So I will multiply the numerator by 3. And if I talk about 12, 12 can be made 24 by multiplying it with 2. So I will also multiply the numerator terms also with 2. The second step is very important step, that you do not do the multiplication over here. You just write down the denominator once and copy down the numerator as it is. Don't do the expansions, please. Don't do the expansions. Otherwise, your answer might get wrong in a few cases. Now, after writing it down like this, do the expansion. Then we are going to do the simplification. Divided by 24. So 6 plus 9 is 15. 15 minus 2 is 13. So this is going to give us 13x minus 4 divided by 24. So this is the final answer. It cannot be further simplified because there is nothing common in the numerator. Next question, B part, question number 12, B part. Factorize this and that. So for doing factorization, you first of all, what do you need to do? You need to take out common over here. So let's see, the first one is already taken out for us. So let's see what is common in the second, last two terms. So in the last two terms, y is common. So if I take out y common, I will have a plus 4y in the bracket. Now when the brackets which are repeating themselves, I will write down as ones, and I will write down the remaining terms in the other bracket. So this is all what factorization was. So a plus 4y bracket 3x minus y. Question number 13. Question number 13 says the diagram shows a cylinder with radius r centimeters and height 16 centimeters. A sphere has radius of 3 centimeters. Okay, it's not shown over here, but sphere is a ball-like structure. The volume of a cylinder is equal to the volume of sphere. So basically this line is a key line for solving this question. Let me write it down over here in mathematical terms. Volume of cylinder in mathematics means equal to the volume of sphere. Now it's just we need to plug in the formulas over here. The formula for volume of cylinder is pi r square h, and the volume of sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. The radius of the cylinder is r, so there is no need to change. The height of the cylinder is 16, and similarly the radius of the sphere is 3. I have substituted here. I'll do the simplifications. Pi r square into 16 equals 4 times pi times 27 divided by 3. Now this 3 and this 27, it can be simplified. I need to find the value of r. I'll keep r to this side. So basically r square on this side, 4 pi multiplied by 9. Remember, I told you not to do the multiplication in paper 2 because it is going to make life easy for you. I'll show you how. Pi is going to go that side, multiply by 16 also in the denominator. Now pi and pi will cancel out. 4 times 1 and 4 times 4 is 16. So r square is equals to 9 over 4. Now it's very easy, all of you are aware of it. I'll take square root on both sides. So if I take square root of 9, that is 3, and if I take square root of 4, that is 2. So 3 by 2 is the radius of the cylinder. Question number 14. It's a circle question, and it says that A, B, C, D and E lies on a circle. A, B, C and D lies on a circle. F, G is a tangent to the circle at C. So yes, we can see that right here. Angle BAD is 110. Okay. Angle ADB is 20. Okay. And angle BEC is 45. Find angle BCD. So we need to find out B, C and D. So this is the angle that he is asking you to find out, B, C and D. Which property are you going to use? We also need to mention that property. So first of all, let me tell you how can we find it. It will be 180 minus 110, which is exactly on the opposite segment, because I'm sure you must recall that the sum of angles in the alternate segment is always equal to 180 degree. So the answer for BCD is 70 degree, and the reason is angles in opposite segment are supplementary. Okay, question number 14, part B, part 1. Find angle DBC. So we need to find out DBC, D, B and C. So this is the angle that we need to find out. So there will be a few additional steps required for finding that. So first of all, we need to see if there is any property applicable. Yes, this property, that angle 45 and this angle D over here, they both lie in the same segment. So if you are just having any ambiguity about circle theorems, you can check out another video, very detailed video on circle theorem, in which I have solved a couple of questions in very detail so that this property can be clear to you. So let's write it over here, because we are not going to get 2 marks for that. So this is basically BDC, which is 45 degree. And for myself, I will write down this reason as well, same segment. Then it's very easy to find out the angle B now, because if you could see that B, D and C, this is one triangle now. The two angles are already known to me. In the previous part, I found out 70 and this is 45. So I can find out D, B, C by subtracting both these angles from 180 degree. So if I subtract 45 and 70 from 180 degree, so it will be 70, 110, 110 minus 40, 70 minus 5, 65. So this angle will be 65 degree. Find angle DCG, DC and G. This is D, this is C and this is G. So we need to find out this angle that I have marked with black, DC and G. So there is a property that if there is an angle between a chord and a tangent, it is equal to the angle made by the same chord in the opposite segment. So angle B, the one that I have just made a star, and this angle, the one that we need to find out, they are both going to be equal because of the property. And so this is also going to be 65 degree. Question number 15. Point A has coordinates -4, 1 and BA is a vector which is -5 and -12. Find the coordinates of point B. So remember, whenever a question is given to you in which there are coordinates, the question is basically related to position vectors. So the information that has been given to me, that is BA. So if I want to write down BA in terms of position vector, it will always be the last minus the first. So it will be OA minus OB. So what is OA? That is very easy, that whatever the coordinates are given to you, you can always write down them in the form of a vector, and that vector will always start from O and it will be OA, and you can write it down in the form of a column. So we have the value for BA, which is -5 and -12, and OA, which is -4 and 1, plus minus OB. So we can simplify to find the value of OB. So OB will be equal to -4, 1, minus -5, -12. We'll simplify the value of x with x and the value of y with y. So -4 minus -5 is going to give me 1. So OB will be 1. And 1 minus -12 is 13. This is the position vector for OB, and the position vector can also be written in the form of coordinates. So it will be 1, 13. Part B says that point C has coordinates 5, -2. Find the vector CA. Okay, again coordinates are given to us, so OC will be 5 and -2. CA can be written in the form of position vector, which will be OA minus OC. So we need to find out CA. We have the coordinates for both of them. OA coordinates are -4 and 1, and OC coordinates are 5 and -2. So we simplify it as x coordinate with x and y coordinate with y point value with y. So -5 minus 4 minus 5 is -9. 1 minus -2 is 3. So -9 and 3 is the vector CA. In the next part he says that EF vector is equal to 3 times BA. Okay, we need to find the magnitude. Please be very careful. He's asking you to find out the magnitude of EF. He's not just asking you to find the vector EF, he's further asking you to find the magnitude of it. So let's first find out the vector EF. So EF, he says, is 3 times BA, and BA we already are aware of, which is -5 and -12. So we just need to do the scalar multiplication, which will give us -15 and -36. This is the vector EF. I need to find out the magnitude of EF. The formula for magnitude is square root of x square minus x square plus y square. So the value of x is -15 whole square plus -36 whole square. So just substitute these values here. -15 square is 225, -36 is 3900, and it's 1296. If I add them, 1296 and 225, it will be 11, 10 and 2 12, 2 and 1, it's 4 and 5 and 1. It's square root of 1521. So the square root of 1521 you should be knowing about, that is 39. So 39 square root is 1521, and square root of 1600 is 40. Similarly, that is not required here. Anyhow, question number 16, it's related to stem and leaf. The stem and leaf diagram shows the mass of each of 13 packets. The key is given to you that 3 and 1 represents 31 gram. So basically what it means is 31 gram, 32 grams, 38 grams, and so on. So we need to find out the interquartile range. So for finding out interquartile range, we need to find out the upper quartile as well as the lower quartile. Upper quartile, let's find out Q1 first. So for Q1, Q1 is basically the middle value between the mid value and the start value. So what is the mid value? Let's see. 1 2 3, it's basically 13 values in total. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this 3 over here, this is the middle value over here. So the middle value from the start up till here, that is going to be the lower quartile. So lower quartile in this case, let's see. 1. So it's if I do the simplification over here, I am going to be left with 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. I have marked a different, let me, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and this is, sorry, this 3 over here, this is the middle value. If I do the simplification, one cut from there, one cut from there, this and this, I am left with 2 terms in the middle. So I have to add them and divide it by 2 to find out the lower quartile. Remember, this is not 8, this is not just 0, this is 38 and that is 40, and I will divide that by 2, and that is going to give me 39 as the lower quartile. Similarly, I'll find out the upper quartile as well. Upper quartile is the middle value between the median and the last value. So I'll repeat the same procedure by cutting the values. I am left with 2 numbers over here as well. I'll find the Q3. Remember again that this is 51 and 52, not just 1 and 2. So 51 plus 52 divided by 2, which is going to give me 51.5. So for finding out interquartile range, I have to find out, I have to subtract the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So 51.5 minus 39, it is going to be 11, 12 and 12.5. So 12.5 will be the interquartile range. Okay, the second question says that 2 of these packets are chosen at random. This is the 16B. So it find the probability that one packet has a mass of more than 50 grams and the other packet has a mass of less than 50 grams. More than 50 grams and less than 50 grams. Okay. So there are 2 options that we can have over here, and the options that we can have is more. The first one can be more and the second one can be less, or the other option that we can have is the first one is more and the second one is less. So how many of them? More than 50 grams, they are just 4 out of the total 13. Multiply by how many of them are less than that, one remaining of them, so it will be 9 out of 13. Will it be 13? No, since we have already chosen a packet, there will be one packet less in the bag, so it will be 12 over here. Or means addition. Similarly, how many large in the start? So it's going to be 9 by 13 multiply by 4 by 12. So if you simplify it, you can do the simplification. 4 times 1, 4 times it's 12 times 12 is 3, 3 times 1, 3 times 3. So basically you have 2 multiply by 1 by 13 multiply by 3. So if you do the simplification, it will be 2 times 3, which is 6, divided by 13 will be the probability that one packet has a mass of more than 50 grams and the other packet less than 50 grams. Question number 17. Question number 17 says that we need to work out one fraction and one recurring decimal. Give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. So let's first of all convert this recurring decimal. The concept over here of recurring decimal we should know about. We need to convert this recurring decimal into fractions. How can we do that? We will let x equals to 0.28 dot. First we'll multiply both sides with x and it will give us 2.8 dot, and then we'll multiply the same equation, the first equation, with 100. So it will be 100x equals to 28.8 dot. Now what we are going to do is we will subtract equation number, let me write 1 and 2. We are going to subtract these two, the left from the left and the right from the right. I hope you can see that after the decimal, the recurring part is same in both of them. So you can subtract them and it will be 28 minus 2, which is 26, and similarly 100 minus 10, which is 90x. So the value of x will be 26 divided by 90. Will simplify table of 2, 13 and 45. So this is the fraction that we have for the recurring decimal 0.28 dot. Let's substitute it over here. 5 divided by 9 plus 13 over 45. The concept is the same that we did for the fractions earlier in algebra. The denominator needs to be same. We can make 9 as 45 by multiplying it with 5. So whatever I do in the denominator, I'll do the same in the numerator. Denominator is 45 now. So 25 plus 13. So 25 plus 13 is 38. So 38 by 45. They both don't come in the same table. Otherwise, I would have done the simplification as well. Question number 18. Okay, question number 18 says the quadrilateral A, B, C, D and E is formed by two rectangles, right angle triangles A, B and E, okay, and B, C and D. AC is given to you as 17 and AE is given to you as 18 and BD is given to you as 6. The question says that you need to show that CD is 10 centimeters. So CD is 10 centimeters. This is the one that we need to show as 10. Okay. Remember, I'm sure you must remember that we can apply SOHCAHTOA only on the right angle triangles. So, and in the syllabus change, I'm sure you must have memorized a few of the angles for sine, cos and tan, so which includes 30, 45, 60 and 90 as well. So let's apply cos over here for the first one to find the distance of AB. I'll tell you why are we finding the distance of AB in a minute. This is cos 60, which will be equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent in this case is AB divided by hypotenuse, which is 18. Cos 60, I'm sure you must recall, which is 0.5 multiply by 18 will be equals to AB. So the value of AB is 9 centimeter. So why did we find this AB first? If this is 9, the remaining portion out of the 17 is going to be BC. So BC length is going to be 17 minus 9, which is going to be 8. So now it's very easy for us. The right hand side triangle is a right angle triangle. So we can apply Pythagoras theorem over here. So CD square will be equals to 6 square plus 8 square, 36 plus 64 equals to 100. That is CD square. If we take square root on both sides, we will be able to figure out the value of CD, which is 10. Now we have this 10. Let me write. Question number 18, part B. Find the perimeter of the quadrilateral A, C, D, and E. So remember, when you need to find out the perimeter, it is basically the sum of all the outer sides. So A, B, C, D, and E. So one side 18 is you're already aware of. 17 again you are aware of. The third side, which is CD 10, we just found out. There is just one side, one portion which is unknown to us, and that is this star ED that we need to find out. So how can we find out ED? We can find out ED by taking the complete A, B, and E triangle, and we can find out BE first by applying Pythagoras theorem over here. So how can you apply Pythagoras? So it's BE, so it will be BE square will be equal to 18 square minus 9 square, because that's the hypotenuse. So 18 square minus 9 square, so 81, 19. So BE square root of not square, let's do it directly. Take the square root of 243. Now I'm sure you must have done surds as well. You need and you can see that you need to give your answer in square root form. So how can you do that? Let's have a recall over here on the side. You need to find out the square root of 243. So square root of 243, 2, 4, 6 plus 3, 9. So it comes in the table of 3. So 3 times 81 is 243. Again in the table of 3. 3 times 27. 3 again. 3 times 9. 3 times 3 and 3 times 1. So now for the square root thing, you always are supposed to make pairs. So I can write down 3 square times 3 square times 3, and there is a square root on top. So the square and the square roots are going to cancel out. So this 3 and this 3 will come out of the square root, and this square root 3 will stay as it is. So BE will be basically 9 square root of 3. Now, but we were not interested in finding out BE, we were interested in finding ED. So how can we find out ED? We can find ED by subtracting 9 square root of 3, and we can subtract the portion 6 from there. 6 over here, this is ED. Now it's simple and it's easy. We need to find out the perimeter. So perimeter is the sum of all the outer sides. I repeat, sum of all the outer sides. So outer sides are, let me highlight them over here for your easiness. This, 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 and this. So it's basically 18 plus 17, 18 plus 17 plus 10, sorry, plus 18 plus 17 plus 10 plus ED, which is we cannot subtract ED because one is in surds and the other is not in surds. So we will write it down as it is over here. So 18 plus 17, it is going to be 29, and 18 plus 17 plus 10, it's going, and then subtract 6. 18 plus 17, it's going to be 20, and 35, 45, and 45 minus 6 is 39. 39 plus 9 square root of 3. We cannot further simplify because it's in surds and the other is not in surds. We have given our final answer in the form that they were asking us to find. Question number 19. Question number 19 says, in the Venn diagram, shade the region A union B union C whole dash. So it's very simple. You need to leave complete A, complete B and complete C, and you need to shade all the region outside that. So this is the region that he is asking us to shade. So okay, next part, again a third question. Question number 20. A, simplify square root of 300. So it's an easy question. So we can divide or break down this 300 so that there is one square number and the other is a non-square number. So it will be 3 times 100. Similarly, we are going to divide split 48 so that there is one square number and the other is a non-square number, which is 16 times 3. That was the reason I was asking you to memorize square numbers and cube numbers. So you can simplify it. Square root of 100 is possible, which is 10, and square root of 3, which is not possible, so you'll write it as it is. Similarly, square root of 16 is possible, which is going to give you 4, and square root of 3, it's not possible. But these can further be added because the third portion in both of these numbers is the same. So if you add 10 and 4, it is going to give you 14 square root of 3 as your final answer. Question number 20, part B. He's asking you to rationalize the denominator and simplify. So if you have a fraction like this and he asks you to rationalize, so you are always going to look at the denominator, and whatever is the denominator, you are going to multiply by its conjugate. Conjugate means that the sign of the square root portion needs to be changed. So it will be 2 minus square root of 7 divided by 2 minus square root of 7. You will multiply as well as divide. I'll tell you the reason as well, that why do you multiply and why do you divide by that. You will now these are the rules for multiplication of fractions only. You'll multiply the numerators with numerator, and you are going to multiply the denominator with denominator. So if you multiply 2 plus square root of 7 and 2 minus square root of 7, I'm sure you can recall that the denominator looks like an identity that you must have done, the third identity, which is a square minus b square. So you will write it like that: a square minus square root of 7 whole square. You'll simplify the numerator, you'll expand the numerator, which is 18 minus 9 square root of 7. So 18 minus 9 square root of 7 divided by 2 square is 4, and square root will cancel out, which is going to give you 7. So if you simplify 18 minus 9 square root of 7 divided by minus 3, now this minus 3 can be divided by the first numerator as well as the second according to the rules of fractions. Minus 9 square root of 3 divided by minus 3. So it is going to give you minus 6 plus 3 square root of 3. Sorry, 3 square root of 7. I have written it wrong here. That was an error. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 21. We are just a few questions away from the end of the paper. Question number 21. Question number 21 says that write down the coordinates of the point where the graph of y equals to 5x minus 3 crosses the y-axis. So if the graph crosses the y-axis, I'm sure you must know that the value of x at that particular place is 0. So just need to substitute that 0 over here in place of x, and you will be able to find the value of y. So the coordinates at that particular point of the y-axis is 0 and minus 3. Next question, a is the point 1 comma 7 and b is the point 5 comma 15. Okay, find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of the line AB. So there are basically two things hidden over here. First is the perpendicular and the second is the bisector. Remember, if the question talks about bisector, he is basically talking about the midpoint from where the line that you are interested in finding, you need to find out. So for finding out the equation of the line, you need to have the gradient and you need to find out the gradient of the line that you are interested in. So first of all, for that we are going to find out the gradient of AB. So gradient of AB is y2 minus y1. Always write down x1 y1, x2 y2. Substitute over here in the formula. So it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 15 minus 7, it's 8 divided by 4. The gradient value is 2. So this is the gradient of the line AB. But we are basically finding out the equation of the perpendicular line of AB. So in perpendicular, the gradient is flip and the change in sign. So the gradient will be minus 1 by 2. So, and the other thing is we need to have the coordinates from where the line is passing, and I told you that is the place of the midpoint of AB. The formula for midpoint of AB is x1 plus x2 over 2 comma y1 plus y2 over 2. You already have the values of x1 and y1 and x2 and y2. So just substitute them here. 7 plus 15 divided by 2. So it's 6 divided by 2, which is 3, and 15 plus 7, which is 22 divided by 2, which is 11. So midpoint of AB from where the line is passing is 3 comma 11. You can find out the equation y equals to mx plus c. We need to find the value of c from here. How can we do that? Substitute the gradient, substitute the value of x and y. So 11 plus 3 by 2. So 11 plus 3 by 2, it is going to be 22 plus 3, which is 25 over 2. This is the value of c. Now just write down the equation in this form. Remember, you need to give your answer in the exact form in which the question is asking you to put. So it will be y equals to minus 1 by 2x plus 25 over 2. No efficiency, no extra work is being required. Next question is question number 22. Question 22 says a curve has equation y equals to x cube plus x square minus x. The curve has the stationary point at this. Find the coordinates of the other stationary point. So basically, stationary point is a place where the dy by dx is 0. The derivative of the equation or the gradient of the equation is 0. So let's find out the dy by dx of the curve that is given to us. So dy by dx will be 3x square plus 2x minus 1, and we know that it is equal to 0. So you all can see that this has become a quadratic equation. We are going to do the factorization of this. 3 times 1 is 3. So you need to, the two factors are going to be plus 3x minus 1x minus 1. So 3x is common, x plus 1 minus 1 x plus 1. So the pairs, it will be 3x minus 1, and the bracket which is repeating itself, it is going to be written once. So we will put both these brackets equal to 0 to find the values of x at the stationary points. So one value of x at one stationary point is minus 1, and the other value of x is 1 by 3 at another stationary point. You can see that one of the stationary point coordinates are already given, which is 1 by 3. So x value stationary point is already given. He is asking you to find out the coordinates of the other stationary point. So we are going to use the value of x as minus 1. We will substitute it in the original equation. Minus 1 power 3 plus minus 1 square minus minus 1. So minus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So it's going to give you plus 1. So the coordinates of the other stationary point is going to be minus 1 and plus 1. Question number 22 this was. Now question number 22 part B. By sketching the graph of this, determine whether the station, now this is a clear indication that you need to tell with the help of sketching. Determine whether the stationary point 1 by 3 comma minus 5 by 2 is a maximum or a minimum. Now you can see that this is a cubic graph where the first cubic coefficient is positive, so the graph is going to look like this. So we are aware of the stationary points as well. Let me write them here. One is already written, the other is minus 1 and plus 1. Minus 1 and plus 1. The other one is already here. So let me mark the points. This is going to be plus 1. This is going to be minus 5 by 27. The value of x that I require is 1 by 3. The other value of x that I am supposed to have is this, minus 1. So these are the two stationary points. One stationary point is right here, which is minus 1 and plus 1, which is this. The other stationary point is 1 by 3 and minus 5 by 27, which is here. So if I do the sketching of this, it is going to be remember, this is going to be the turning points. So this is one stationary point and the other stationary point is right there. So which minus 1 by 3 and minus 25 by 27 is the minimum. So minimum. Okay, the next says the equation x power x cube plus x square minus x is equals to k has fewer than 3 solutions. Okay, he's basically saying y is equals to k, and y is equals to k is a horizontal line. So, and we need to tell the range of possible values for k so that it has fewer than 3 solutions. So let me make a line over here. If I draw a line over here, this there are no solutions yet. There is one solution basically. If I extend the line, has fewer than 3 solutions. Over here, how many solutions? If I extend this graph from here, how many solutions do you see? There are there is just one. Let me stretch it from here, this side as well. Okay, now how many solutions do you see? Solution means the number of point of intersections of this horizontal line, which is y is equals to k. and the original graph. There is just one point of intersection, so this is the region that he is basically asking. Now if I bring it up to here, there are 2 points of intersection. One is minus 5 by 27 and the other is the one on the left hand side. If I move this line a little above this, how many solutions do you think are going to be there? Solution means the point of intersection. So as soon as I move it above this point, there are going to be more than 2 intersections, which means three solutions over here. And in the question he says it has to be fewer than 3 solutions. So one value of k that is possible has to be less than or equals to minus 5 by 27. Now let's see if there is any other possibility. There are 3 solutions, 3 intersections, 3 intersections, 3 intersections. Oh, now right over here at the stationary point, now again there are 2 points of intersections, and if I keep moving it above this value, it is going to again have just 2 intersections, which means there are going to be 2 solutions. From which point? Where the value of y is 1. So all values above 1 and 1 are going to give us 3 solutions. So the other value, possible value of y, set of values for y, it is going to be k to be greater or equal to plus 1. 23. Okay, question number 23, which is the last question. Question 23, part A. It says simplify this and that. So indices. So always look at the denominator of the power and try to make the power as the denominator that is there. So what you can do is you can write down x power 2 divided by 2 power 2 and whole power will be 3 by 2. Now there is a law of indices, and what is the law of indices? That if there is a power, let me write down that law over here, that a divided by b whole power m, it will be equal to a power m over b power m. This is the law of indices that we are going to apply here at the first step. So it's going to become x square whole power 3 by 2 divided by 2's power 2 whole power 3 by 2. Now there is another law of indices which says that if there is a power and there is another power on top of it, the powers get multiplied. So you are going to multiply 2 with 3 by 2, and similarly you are going to multiply this 2 with also 3 by 2. Now this 2 and 2, this 2 and 2 will cancel out, and you will be left with x power 3 divided by 2 power 3, and 2 power 3 is basically 8, so the answer is x power 3 divided by 8. The next part is also indices, which is question 23 part B. We are going to make the bases same and always try to make the smallest base, so smallest number as the base, so that it is possible for you to make all of them the same base. 16 can be written as 2 power 4 whole power x plus 2 power minus 1, because I am bringing it up, and it will be equal to 2 power 2 whole power x plus 3. Again, the law of indices that we just did above in the A part, 2 power 4x multiply by, this is not plus, this is multiply by 2 power minus x, and if you multiply this, it will be 2x plus 6 in the power. There is the law of indices. If the bases are same and they are multiplying, the numbers are multiplying, you just add their powers. So it will become 2 power 4x minus x, because plus x and minus x is minus x. 2 power 2x plus 6. Now the bases are same, you can equate their powers. It will be 4x minus x, which will be equal to 2x plus 6. So 3x equals to 2x plus 6. So 3x minus 2x equals to 6, and the value of x is 6. So this was the last question where the value of x is 6, and that's the end of the paper. I hope you have understood all the questions. If there is any ambiguity, any query, please leave it in the comment section, and don't forget to watch any other video, so that if there is any ambiguity in any of the chapters, any of the concepts, do watch other videos for your clarity. Thank you so much. Good luck.